Mhm. All right, so let's get it going. Let's get it started. Part 2, 2 Maccabees. I'm sorry, 1 Maccabees chapter 9. So we just read about the treaty that was written to the Jews who went to see the Romans in the Senate. All right, so now we're gonna switch gear after the people that Judah sent to the Senate returned. So, verse 1 in chapter 9. And it says, furthermore, when Demetrius heard that Nicanor and his host were slain in battle, remember, Demetrius now, who took over Seleucus Epiphany, I believe the 5th, because he came from Rome and took over.
He took over in Rome?
Now he came from Rome where he was captive, or where he was in exile. He went back to take over the Syrian rulership. All right. So now let's hear some of the names. After Demetrius, he says that Nicanor and his hosts were slain in battle. He sent Bacchites and alchemists into the land of Judea. So now we have Demetrius, Nicanor.
Right.
From previous chapter that we read. Anybody remember Nicanor? Nicanor was a Syrian general in the Seleucid Empire, in the Seleucid army. He was under Antiochus Epiphanes. Okay, so that was him, Nicanor, a general.
He was a general?
Right, he was a general. And then also he was there when Demetrius was there as well. So we have Nicanor and his hosts were slain in battle and sent Bacchites and alchemists. Right? So Bacchite was a Greek general.
These are all different generals?
Yeah, Bacchite is a Greek general.
Okay.
He was friend with the Syrian Greek ruler Demetrius.
Okay.
So this is the same group of people, right? Friends. And Alchemist. If you remember Alchemist, he was a Jew that went to Demetrius, reported on the Jews when Demetrius got into power. So he went in and wanted to become high priest, right? So he went and tried to speak bad about the Jews,
Okay.
so he can get to the position that he wanted to get to, which is a position of high priest. So all that was selfish desire that he had that he wanted, right? So alchemists, Nicanor, Bacchites, all part of the same corrupt structure. Alchemists into the land of Judea the second time. And with them, the chief strength of his hosts. So now a second time, he sent, and also he sent some chief with him. Right? He sent them in the land of Judea. So now in verse 2, who went forth by the way that leadeth to Galgala, and pitched their tents before Masalah, which is in the Arbela. And after they had won it, they slew much people. So in their way over there, they continue because they went with a host of their army. Right? So as they going by the road that lead to Galaga and camp against Masalov, right, in Areba, and they took it and killed many people. Imagine you going to you station in Germantown. Let's say you're going to Lancaster with your army.
Right.
As you on your way, you start slashing people as you on your way over there in the borders to get to where you want to go. So they start killing people on their way there. Right? So picture this. In verse 3 now. Also, the first month of the 152nd year, they encamped before Jerusalem. So now they're getting close to Jerusalem. Right? Stay up now. I know it's the second half. Second half is always uphill battle. So in the first month of the 152nd year, they encamped against Jerusalem. All right, so they set garrison against Jerusalem. Verse 4. From whence they removed and went to Berea with 20,000 footmen and 2,000 horsemen. So pretty much they practicing before they kind of like want to get in the mood. So when they get to Judas, they full of the zeal and heat. So pretty much they preparing themselves. So they have 20,000 soldiers with them and 2,000 cavalries. Right? There's 5. Now Judas had pitched his tents at Eleazar. At Eleazar, and 3,000 chosen men with him. Meanwhile, Judas encamped in Eleazar, and with him he had 3,000 men, picked men that he handpicked. When you handpick, they handpicked those men. Verse 6, remember they have 3,000 and then 1,000, 2,000 cavalry. Verse 6, who seeing the multitude of the other army to be so great were so afraid. So now 20,000 versus 3,000, big margin, right? Big margin, including the 2,000 cavalry. So that's about 1,900. Right? So when they see the multitude, they were so afraid. Whereupon many conveyed themselves out of the host, and so much as there abode of them no more but 800 men. Man, what a subtraction. That's a dilution right there. So he had 3,000. He was reduced to 800. 2,200 men fled. And now those guys, they have 22. The margin is even crazier.
Now, for kind, you could say, you might as well head back home.
Right.
No shot.
Now that 800 that left, so it's like he picked 3,000 choice men, pick men, and then in the course of the event got rid of 22, got dropped out, 800 left. When Judas therefore saw that his host slipped away and that the battle pressed upon him, he was so troubled in mind. So now he himself got trouble in mind. Imagine, he's a man too. And what he's going there, it's not like he was going to play some video game. It's not like he's playing, you know, some what's the popular video game nowadays?
Call of Duty.
Call of Duty. Hey, he ain't gonna play Call of Duty. It's gonna be real blood, real blows. Right? There's not gonna be a time for him to, you know, get some more luck or recharge his battery. You know,
You like that?
I should be.
I think you're good since getting spin back.
Okay, if anyone else having trouble seeing the image, let us know. All right, so 800 men left. Imagine you have in your mind you pick 3,000 people. In your mind is 3,000 people, men that you pick. You observe them in battle, right? And out of that 3,000, when they get and look far, they say, "I'm out, man." Next thing you know, you see a host of people fleeing and leaving you. You got 800 left. So now, the fight is on him. Man. Nevertheless, it says, then when Judas therefore saw that his host slipped away and that the battle pressed upon him, he was so troubled in mind and much distress. That's not even a way to even start a fight. Much distress, for that he had no time to gather them together. So now he had no time to gather them together. He cannot give him no pitch, right? He cannot give him no words of encouragement. There's no need for that because those guys, they fled. Wow, that's crazy.
Who fled? Which one just fled?
Judas Maccabees guy.
Oh, this people.
These people fled. They fled away from him. The other people had 20,000 plus 2,000 cavalry.
Okay.
So altogether, we're talking about 22,000.
Okay.
He had 3,000 to begin with.
Okay.
2,200 left. He got only 800 that stayed with him.
800 fled?
Right, and as they fled, he had no time to tell them, "Yo, hold on. How you?" Everybody they bounced out.
Why? Because the numbers,
They see the numbers of the other guys, and they got afraid. and they left.
They haul ass. You say haul ass. Damn, 2 minutes.
Ah man, this is a tough spot to be in.
They were quiet. We had pictures 300 Spartans when he was fighting my man was fighting all them the Persians, like 7,000 Persians. He only had 300. But he was dedicated to what he had to do.
Right.
You know, I mean, his thing was, if we hold the path, keep them from coming to the other way, we can handle it.
Right. Now put it this way. Imagine this. You're going on the fight with a bunch of your buddies. Say, yeah, we're gonna crush them. You know, we're gonna use all out that we can, and with the power of the Most High, we know we're gonna crush them.
Right.
And you've seen that happen throughout time. Throughout time, you've always been winning. And then, as you with your guys seeing the enemy, they coming, and then most of your guys they just fled. You don't even have a time to even think to stop them.
Right. Yeah.
All you see is people just fleeing.
Everybody getting out of the way. Huh?
Yeah, everybody getting out of the way. They run. They running.
Remember Sennacherib in 2 Kings 19?
Mm-hmm.
He woke up and all the soldiers were dead.
Mm-hmm.
The Most High smote all of the soldiers, and they were all dead, and he just ran.
Right. So 800 left. It's interesting. So now, let's see what he told. Because what happened at this point, you got to come up with something. And now you got to think quick. You got to think a different strategy, and you got to think on your feet.
Right.
Nevertheless, unto them that remain, he said, let us arise and go up against our enemies. If peradventure we may be able to fight with them, if peradventure we may be able to fight with them. Right? He said, if peradventure we may be able to fight with them. So now that's talking about he faint. He became faint. But at the same time, he gotta do what he gotta do.
You only had 800. Huh?
Yeah. So he said, no, you know what? We're gonna go against him anyway. It says, when we get there, we may have some strength to fight them. It said, rather than we try to run now, it's better if we're gonna die, we die now, rather than die as cowards. You know, we run and they running after us and they kill us. If they don't kill us now, they're gonna kill us then. So you might as well just die now. You guys just go fight right now.
Right.
Yeah. He said, rather than try to, save ourselves now, let us go and fight them. Right? Verse 9. But they dehearted him. Oh my God. So what happened there? So let's look at the word. Dehearted.
The who?
Dehearted.
They cut his head off?
Yeah, left him. I think the word is left.
Anybody have a dictionary?
Not on.
This is a Bible school, right?
Yeah. That's why I said Bible, notebook, and a dictionary. Yeah.
Advise again.
Dehort.
To advise again.
To advise.
To devise against. So they,
Devise or advise?
so that I guess discourage him. Discourage against doing whatever he wants to do.
Right. So let me cut his head off now?
No.
Okay.
My definition says archaic, to try to dissuade.
Okay. Make him to change his mind.
Said the word.
I like this one word. I like this one word definition. To discourage.
Never be able.
So we got to discourage, to devise against. Other one, to discourage.
Archaic. To advise an action or policy.
It's like the opposite of persuasion is dissuasion.
Mm-hmm.
So don't cut his head off. Talk to him.
All right, so now he says, but they departed him, saying, we shall never be able. Let us now rather save our lives, and hereafter we will return with our brethren and fight against them, for we are but few. He said, let's leave now and come back with our brethren, and then we can fight them.
You think you leave now and come back with more?
Yeah. Rather than die now.
Okay. So we always leave you like a fool. And we sit here and die now with the numbers they have.
Yeah. So now let's
Heavy casualty.
let's see what was Judas' decision, because at that point he has the last say.
Kind of, I can see purpose behind both
Right.
both angles.
Right.
Retreat.
Right.
Because I mean, it's not always cowardice. Sometimes it's like, hey, we might have a better shot later once we
Oh,
regroup.
I think the problem is, did you see Todd Bull?
Mm-hmm.
When Todd Bull, when his buddy, after buddy got killed over there at the mountain.
Right. So now
Hill, they left. The rest of them they left because they said, we're not sitting here nursemaid.
Right.
We want to get out there and fight. And he said, and the guy, old man said, let each Cossack search his own soul. He said, well, all Cossacks that want to leave.
Right.
And about a whole gang of them left, and they were down there at the hill waiting for his buddy, the guy that died. He was a great Cossack, but he died trying to make over the hill with that horse. And the horse, he pulled the whole horse down.
Right.
So he waiting right there. So he said retreat. Todd Bull said retreat because they sent out the whole regiment of the Poles.
Right.
So they retreated and they were chasing them, and they said, Pogoransky! That means help.
Yeah.
So they went down there, and as he got down there, saying the word Pogoransky,
Uh-huh.
all hell broke loose. Oh, they came.
So, in fact, you gotta let us know what Western this is. We're missing that one, brother.
Huh?
What's the name of the Western, brother?
Todd Bull.
Todd Bull.
All right, cool.
Okay. Yeah, I gotta add that to my list. Add that to my list, brother.
Yeah, because he was down there. They retreated because the Poles got real thick because his son was a traitor.
Right.
Had a Polish thing and helped him get the food.
Right.
So when he see that they were getting a problem with that, he said, we'll send out the whole regiment.
Right.
Wipe the Cossacks out.
Right. So now let's get this on track, right? When what you were saying, some of them, they fled, right? And they waiting for somebody to give him direction. Right? Somebody got to give the direction.
Right. So what it was that when that happened, he said each one of us searched their own souls.
Right?
So they went with the other one. He took most of the whole regiment with him.
Okay. All right, cool. So now we're gonna see what Judas did. Because this one is very tough, right? A tough decision. Like Nabi said, there's reason in both, but now there's something that called conviction. Reasons would like the Most High said, bring out your strong reason. It's good to reason. There's nothing wrong with reasoning.
Right.
At the same time, beyond reasoning, there's something called conviction. And that's where the tough thing is, because even beyond with your conviction, you might fall, but what's lie beyond you falling, that's gonna be the determining factor why you took the decision that you take. Right? Even if you continue to go and fight, despite you see that there's no way for you to win.
Right.
And that's something that everybody gotta learn. Right? Because the person has conviction, he fall anyway, but did he really fall in terms of in the next life? He may fall physically, but the action he took is something to learn from. Right? So let's see what happened. It says, then Judah said, God forbid that I should do this thing and flee away from them.
Right.
If our time be come, let us die manfully for our brethren, and let us not stain our honor. So like that's conviction to the next level. It's not easy to do. Because it makes sense. Why would you fight a great multitude when you see that there's no way to win?
Right.
But the key is it's conviction, even if you end up falling. The conviction, and that's what separate a lot of leaders. Now, what would even though this guy is not our people, right? When you look at Chavez, right? Those guys, they're in position where they got killed, right? They're in position where they take certain position knowing that the beast is gonna come after them,
Right.
in their position, in their decision. But what they believe in is stronger than their physical body being perished.
Right.
That's conviction in the next level. When you look at what's going on in Syria, you wonder how these people sleep at night. As a leader, you see people die day and night, and it's for something that you believe in, that you reside to go forward no matter what, and you're not gonna give in.
Right.
Even if it means that you get killed, that's it.
Right.
That's gonna be it. You're gonna keep going tunnel vision, full-fledged, and not waving left or right. You're just gonna go focus and keep going. That's conviction to the next level.
Okay.
Conviction in the Most High that you believe in, or whatever forces or power you believe in, or whatever ideology you believe that's right for you to do, and you focus on that and keep going.
Kind of, this is what Ishmael has. We got to acknowledge that. You know, rather than have the suicide bombers. You know? Anyone who prescribes that approach to dealing with the enemy.
You got scripture to go? What are you talking about?
You meant Ishmael.
Yeah.
Some of the scripture, just observation of like the news. You always hear about the suicide bombers. You know?
Okay.
So yeah, we gotta see that conviction here. And also it said, God forbid that I should do this thing to run away. So
that's what Judah
when he does that, you know what that do? Even let's say he fall, he shows that conviction he has in believing in the Most High, regardless of what happened.
Right.
That's set an example that he did it. He went in. If you ever find yourself in a situation like that, what would you do? He did it.
He did it.
So that's an example of firm conviction.
Put yourself in the table.
Right. Would I have done it? I don't know.
Back in the days, I might do it. I ain't gonna do it now.
Back in the day.
The same person, the same soul.
So back in the day, it's even worse. Back in the day, you did it. You have no solid reason. You probably had a solid reason for whatever, you know, you wanted to hustle or something like that. You just go, yo, I'm gonna go down for my team. Going down for the Most High, if you know your body go, but your spirit never go, and they go for a good cause.
I'll tell you a prime example. Back in the days, it was like 15 of us. And we went up to this house, we party. And we threw one of the guys out. And they had the whole damn project circled out. So we about 15 of us, we grabbed everything we can and went out there to play. We chased on them because we had strength and we had heart. There were about 40 of them niggas. About 40 of them. Everybody, you know, you got a little couple of tastes in you, you got a little heart. You got a little heart. We had everything from the ladies, everything. We took everything we had out of the house and chased someone. Had a pitchfork, chasing somebody who was down a hot dog fork. So a rolling pan.
Right.
We took everything, any kind of weapon that we could, took out the lady house. Because they was in their crowd, there about 40 of them. We was about 15.
You were in the spirit.
In the spirit.
Yeah, the spirit of. See, there was another spirit. You know, you drink. You were in the drinking spirit.
So my
spirit.
Right.
My warlord said, and we believe in the warlord, so we say, get him.
Yeah. What warlord?
We had a brother. He was a war chief. He was good.
He was Judas.
Right.
That was his
So
Judas.
he said, get him. The man ran it into him.
Okay.
He's playing all
So now you see how I flipped out on the other side.
Yeah.
At that time, you were ready to go. You're ready to die. Anything happened, you were ready to go, right?
Right.
But right now, you say you wouldn't do it. Why?
I don't know why, but I'm more understanding them.
No, I'm talking about for a righteous cause.
You're not like.
Oh, for righteous cause.
Not like going before you were going for unrighteous cause and then you were ready to die. But what about for a righteous cause?
For righteous cause, I would.
Okay. I just want to make sure you understand that.
I would do it for righteous cause.
Okay.
All
right. When
Warlord.
hey, let's say
Warlord said, go.
let's say I wouldn't say I would. I'm not gonna say I would do it. I would say let's the time come, and we'll see.
By that time, we had a couple of drinks, and, you know, we in the lady house, man, and do a small project. They started a project and said, come on out of here, come on out of here. You know, they called us out, call our name out.
Yeah. Now let's read this. Romans 5:7.
Wow.
Romans 5:7. That's what I said. That's conviction to the next level. That's knowing how you are really close to the Most High and you really understand. You understand, why you do the things you do. It's beyond, like regular men thinking.
Most would call it insane.
Right.
The natural man would call it insane.
Right.
You're insane.
Romans 5:7 reads, for scarcely for a righteous man will one die. Yet peradventure for a good man, some would even dare to die.
Right.
Check this out, verse 8. But God commendeth his love towards us, in that while we were yet sinners, Christ died for us. Just imagine that. That's the level that Judas Maccabeus was on, as far as the understanding of how he dealt with the Most High. Because he by experience, he see what the Most High does for him. At that point, dying wasn't even a big thing, right? He was ready to do it because he would do it with understanding. Not that he said that it would be easy. I'm sure that he know that the pain he was gonna go through, and he said in the previous verse, his mind was troubled. Right? His mind was troubled.
Invalid.
But yet he went into it. Because just to deliberately go and die like that, it's not an easy decision. That's a tough one right here.
You'll never know until you face the situation yourself.
Fun.
You know? Well, at that particular time, you don't know what you might do. You know,
It's a different kind of love. And you know who have that kind of love with their kids? Some mothers have that kind of love.
Oh yeah, my mother, yeah.
They on the heartbeat, I'll go.
There you go.
Okay.
They'd be like, you take me first, take me, just leave them, just take me.
Solomon's wisdom, right? Dealing with the matter of the two women. They were claiming the child was theirs. Him knowing that, he said, yeah, cut the child in half. The one woman that was claiming the child said, yeah, cut it in half. The other woman said, no, give it to her. Let her keep the child.
Oh, okay.
She loved the child that much. She would rather have the other woman take it.
Right.
Even though it wasn't her child. Just said the child would survive.
Oh, okay.
And Solomon saw it and was like, keep the mom. Boom. Easy.
Okay.
Clear.
Why was he cut the child in half?
No, he said that to expose the real mom.
Oh.
They're both proclaiming that it was their child.
Oh, okay, I got you.
He didn't figure out who was lying.
Oh, okay.
That's why he said that.
Cut the child in half.
That story's pretty heavy.
Yeah.
It shows what you're talking about.
Yeah,
Right.
it's a pretty heavy story.
It's like it's a bond. So he had that bond with the Most High like that, and he understood, and he was willing to go. Just like Yahushua, he understood the Most High, and when the Most High gave him the task, he took it. Because he understood that the Most High is not a liar, and whatever he promised, he's gonna be true to it. So he's not gonna do it in vain.
Right. So that's why Yahushua, he went on that.
And do it.
Yeah.
Even though it was tough, even at the last day, it was tough, but he went and do it.
I guess that gave him thinking power. When you know that he knew that when they came, he had to be ready. They came to crucify him.
Right. He was ready, but at the same time, going into it, it wasn't easy.
Because I mean, he performed what he had to do, and then he knew that when the soldiers come for him, they're going to come take him.
Right. And keep in mind also, it's not him, according to his power, he did it. The Most High designed men like that for our own lesson.
Right.
He designed those men like Judas Maccabees, Yahushua. He designed those men like that to teach us how far your conviction can go.
Okay.
Yeah, you just write down 1 Kings 3:16-28. That's the whole story.
Okay. 1 Kings
chapter 3, verses 16-28, just to deal with the whole mother putting her life on the line for the child.
16-28. Chapter 3, right?
Right.
The conviction.
So now we back, verse 9, chapter 9 now, verse 11. So you see that right there? One white would say that's pride, that's righteous pride. And that's where pride is good. Rather than getting dishonored and run away from the enemy, we're going to stood there and fight. If by adventure, the Most High save us, he save us. But if we're going to die, be it, we die. And us reading this here today, imagine we read that Judas Maccabees ran. Right? That would have a different kind of understanding. He ran. But he went, he actually run to the fight.
Young boys and girls reading that story, that way it says, you feel a little tinge in your heart, like that hurt. You feel hurt, like, why did you run? Why did you do that? Why did you fight? Maybe I shouldn't fight either.
Right.
It's contagious. It's spreading.
Yeah, it's contagious. Make the other person think too, well, I ain't gonna do it. He ain't doing it, I ain't doing it.
And also that exemplified, judge not according to appearance. The appearance is, you see so many men, they may be more stronger than you. And you're going to get beaten. So what about the Most High who control them? So the Most High's control them is non-effective. But judge not according to appearance, righteous judgment. Think about your action that you're going to take, that how others that's supposed to follow the Most High, how they going to see it, how they going to view it. And that's the quick thinking that he did right there. Let our brothers see what we did. God forbid. Not only the Most High first will see it, plus after the event, how they will analyze what happened.
Right. About that, stretch my legs out.
Right. Verse 11. With that, the hosts of Bacchae removed out of their tents and stood over against them, their horsemen being divided into two troops, and their slingers and archers going before the host. And they that marched in the forward were all mighty men. As for Bacchae, he was in the right wing. So the host drew near on the two parts and sounded their trumpets. They also of Judah's side, even they sounded their trumpets also, so that the earth shook at the noise of the armies. And the battle continued from morning till night. Imagine that. 800 people with 22,000 men fighting from day to night.
What does that look like?
Garments rolled in blood.
One, what does that look like? Two, what does that feel like when the spirit takes over you and you're in the midst doing it? Wow.
I have no idea. I can only imagine it.
Like
just to look at it, just to see it, like
the 300 Spartans. One man say, those Spartans, they fight like machines. You know what I mean? 300 of them fighting the whole Persian army. He say, if we beat the immortals, wrestling gonna go away because the immortals was real strong. That was the Persian. That was his bodyguard.
Right.
And they was real fit.
Yeah.
He said, we beat them. The wrestling gonna go back. My man say they beat him. Another guy talking about, I told you to find a path. He said, how can I tell the rest of them when they beat my best troops?
David 390.
Then he said he about ready to go home. He was about ready to go home. Until they found, he said, I found the way. Until they found that path. And they never found the path, man. The other Spartans, man, they've been doing their thing.
So now, we think in movies, right? That's fiction, right? Based on true story. But this right here, that's real stuff.
I know.
But David 3 mighty men.
Yeah, well, you know, I understand that it was fiction and anything else, you know.
Right.
But the idea of it, it was,
Right. It gives you an image. It gives you a visual of what we reading here.
yeah, they had hard, I'll tell you that. Anytime 300 fight against the whole 400 Persians, 7,000.
Mhm.
You start out with 7,000 men.
Right. Imagine if you knew the story back then, and you know it was your people. It wasn't the Spartans. It was Israelite, your brothers and sisters who had that might. Would that give you a different perspective in life about who you are, about how we should walk?
Well, I gotta have myself into, first of all, being an Israelite, and then and then believing the truth. Believing the truth, and then believing the Most High, too. I gotta have that type of spirit.
Right.
You know what I mean? And then that'll further my intuition for what I'm going to do.
Right. Right. So this is our people fighting 22,000 men of stature.
Right.
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 And in the midst you have 800, and you are fighting until night.
Yeah, well, I mean, we fight like a machine.
Right.
You can read one of David Mining.
Con.
Just one. 2 Samuel 23, verse 9.
23.
Yes, I'm reading this one. And David and after him rose Eleazar, the son of Dodo, the Ahohite, one of the 3 mighty men with David when they defied the Philistines, that they were gathered together to battle, and the men of Israel were gone away. He rose, verse 10, he arose and smote the Philistines until his hand was weary, and his hand clave unto the sword. And the Lord wrought a great victory that day, and the people returned after him only to spoil.
Right.
And was weary, and he still clave onto the sword.
Kept on.
But then killing you, you can't let go of the sword. But you going to town.
You know, I'm going off. You know, keep on going. Keep on going.
Garments roiled in blood.
Yep. This is how we fought, man. By the power of the Most High, that's how we fought.
And it's so sad because what he's talking about, I can tell stories too, right? You know, martial arts movies, epics, like he said, sometimes based on history, sometimes embellished on history. Right? But like the Hunt said, to have your own story where it's like this actually happened to me. You know, I could have been with Judas, you know, my reincarnation back then, fighting women.
Right.
That could have been it.
Could have been. And that'd be my reincarnation.
The order is like,
Where's 14 now?
Yeah.
Now when Judas perceived that Bacchite and the strength of his army were on the other side, he took with him all the hardy men.
Okay.
So now he want to go and weaken their strongest link. You realize that their strong part of the army, they were on the other side.
Oh, back aside his other arm.
Right, the Bacchite and the strength of his army were on the right side. So he took with him all the hardy men. Verse 15. With his confident the right wing, and pursued them unto the Mount Azotus. But when they of the left wing saw that they of the right wing were discomfited, they followed upon Judas and those that were with him hard at the heel from behind. So the same thing that he did, it's the same thing that they used on him too. Right. So since he took on the stronger link, so he's the strongest, so they're gonna take on him too. So they follow after him. So the enemy mirror what you're doing, right? In fight, that happens. Okay. They mirror what you're doing. They do this, it works for you. They follow the same thing you do, and they do it too. Right? And it says, Judas also discomfited. But when they of the left wing saw that they of the right wing were discomfited, they followed upon Judas and those that were with him hard at the heels from behind. Well, right. Whereupon there was a sore battle. So that's when the battle was heat up. There was a heat in that fight right there. Whereupon there was a sore battle, and so much as many were slain on both parts. Judas also was killed.
Judas was killed?
Yeah, Judas got killed.
Yeah, it said Judas got killed.
Judas also was killed, and the remnant fled. Then Jonathan and Simon took Judas, their brother, and buried him in the sepulchre of his father at Modin. Moreover, they bewailed him, and all Israel made great lamentation for him, and mourned many days, saying, how is the valiant man fallen that deliver Israel? As for the other things concerning Judas and his wars, and the noble acts which he did, and his greatness, they are not written, for they were very many. So much that this guy did is not even written. Because if they were to write this thing, it would be so much thing for us to read about his legacy.
Yeah, but nobody said, I got a book.
Right.
So link with verse 22, so saying you made a connection with Yahushua, right? Since Judas was our savior at this point, right?
Right.
The last verse is St. John. St. John 21 and 25.
Yeah.
That's Matthew, Mark, Luke, John. That one. So link with 9 and 22.
You said 21, 25?
Yes. St. John 21 and 25. I'll read it real quick. It has a similar statement about the Yahushua, our Lord and Savior, our ultimate Savior. So St. John chapter 21, verse 25 reads, and there are also many other things which Yahushua did, the which, if they should be written every one, I suppose that even the world itself could not contain the books that should be written. Amen.
That's a man right there. That's a man right there. After Yahushua, you know. Verse 23. Now,
Real quick, for y'all tonight. Maybe live forever.
Yeah.
That's what we tell Judas, right? Maybe live forever.
Now, after the death of Judas, the wicked began to put forth their heads in all the coasts of Israel. So now it's time for the wicked to rise up, because the troublemaker is gone. To them, Judas was a troublemaker.
Okay.
Right? The troublemaker is done. So now it's time for us to start implement our wickedness, because there will be no one to stop us. But keep in mind, the Most High always have a successor, someone to take over.
They did the same thing with the civil rights era, for like Malcolm and Martin, they were assassinated. Yes. Yeah, keep them going. Keep an eye out for the next person to fill those shoes. They call him, they call him an agitator.
Right. Agitated, somebody who's gonna rock the boat, right? So now in verse 23 again, now after the death of Judas, the wicked began to put forth their heads in all the coasts of Israel, and there arose up all such as rough iniquity, some rough iniquity. So the wickedness, anybody that, it's like the floodgate is open. It's like the key to the door has been broken.
Okay.
So it's time for us to do our thing.
But they were still coming on one.
So all the wrongdoers, they reappear. Whereas they were dormant when Judas was there, even some that was, faking, as soon as Judas is going to, hey, they go out true color. Yep, the wicked comes. In 24, it says, in those days also was there a very great famine, by reason whereof the country revolted and went with them. So now, even things start to look to play in their favor. So people find excuses because there was a famine. And then, people got to eat. So they went right along with them. So they use the fact that the people need food and then, drag them into doing, iniquity. So they use that as an opportunity.
To effectively control people.
Yeah, food. One of the necessities. So if there's food, regardless of anything, I'm on the side of who's feeding me. Like they said, don't bite the head that feeds you. That's it. I ain't gonna, hey man, I do what I gotta do, man. I gotta eat. It's a tough thing, but it happens. That's why you see people would say, man, I don't know what the hell you're talking about. I love the white man. Whenever I was problem, I didn't see you. I didn't see you. That's the man that helped me. They would, yeah, that's the man that helped me. Where were you when I didn't have anything to eat? Starving. I had no house, no place to stay.
I had to go to the white man.
Yeah, I had to go to the white man. Now you're talking bad about the white man. The hell with you, man. You're a racist.
Get the hell out of my face.
You're a racist. Brother, let me get a $50. Let me get a $50. See, you can't. Let me hold something. Let me hold something. See, you ain't even the guy. See, you talking. You just talking, man. You just talking. All right, I'm gonna get some food down the street, right? The white man, put thing for me to go get food.
It's heavy what you're saying. It's worthy of its own class, but I think both brothers and sisters, we have a conflict with that.
Yep. So that's why, as an Israelite, if you can pray for the Most High to get you rich, to be part of the solution, I don't see anything wrong with that.
You come out of
No, to help other people, because now they see that Esau that's helping them. If you have a pray for the Most High to make you rich, that should be the purpose behind why the Most High would make you rich.
help other people.
Right. To help yourself first, and then you help other people.
Right.
Because if you cannot help yourself, you can be no use to anybody else.
Right. Right.
Even our carnal leaders in the world, dealing with other religions that have power, they have that, and people look to them just on that base level. Like the doctrine is, like you said, the doctrine is secondary.
Right.
This man's feeding my stomach. This man gave me a job. This man got me on the corner doing something.
Right. And let's go right back to slavery, like you said. It goes right back to slavery, where the man was in a position where he was oppressed, and Esau could come and do anything he wants to him, and he couldn't even defend himself.
Right.
So now, if you can't defend yourself, how can you defend me? There go the lack of respect right there in our own household.
Right.
That's it.
Right. So that's where it comes. It's right back. Everything has an origin. Right now, what we see is just a symptom of what's happening, but there's the origin of where the root cause of the problem that we have now. We got to go back to the root cause and then try to fix it from the root cause as opposed to just the symptom. Verse 25. Then Bacchus chose the wicked men and made them lords of the country. And they made iniquity and searched for Judah's friends and brought them unto Bacchus, who took vengeance of them and used them despitefully. So that was a wish realized for Bacchus and the wicked, because that's exactly, they always wanted to do that. But now they have the opportunity to do it, they'll do it. So they have the opportunity. You think they will do otherwise? When the people have the opportunity, they're not gonna do otherwise. They're gonna do more wickedly. Once you're wicked and you get the opportunity, you're gonna do more wickedness. You're gonna magnify your wickedness, and that's exactly what we witnessing right here. So he took godless men and put them in charge. What would you get? Lawlessness. So when you put them in charge of the country, so the people are gonna be mourning. They're gonna oppress the people more than they ever been. Verse 26. And they made iniquity and searched for Judah's friends. And they made inquiry. And search Judah's friends. And brought them unto Bacchus, who took vengeance of them and used them despitefully. So now they made an inquiry. Anybody that they knew that had association with Judas, they find them. They find them and they brought them to Bacchus. And he took vengeance of them and made good sport of them, made them a sport. Verse 27. So was there a great affliction in Israel, the like whereof was not since the time that a prophet was not seen among them. So those are the things that would, when I asked the question last night, how do you cope seeing that you're the children of Israel and you doing the best you can to keep the law, yet all these things are happening to you? How do you keep yourself from dwelling on these things and start having doubt about the Most High? Right? So these things right here, when you see them happen, not having the right mindset could derail you and mess you up mentally. Verse 28. For this cause all Judah's friends came together and said unto Jonathan, since thy brother Judas died, we have no man like him to go forth against our enemy, and Bacchides, and against them of our nation that are adversaries to us. Now, therefore, we have chosen thee this day to be our prince and captain, and instead that thou mayest fight our battles. Upon this, Jonathan took the governance upon him at that time and rose up instead of his brother Judas. Jonathan. So you got to get the acclimate, you got to get the people, to choose you. So the people chose him rather than him appointing themselves. That makes it even easier for you to rule, because you don't have to convince them that, on some little stuff. Like big stuff, I understand, but little stuff, they already, appoint you, to rule over them. Right. So Jonathan was the one that they chose. Right. But when Bacchides got knowledge thereof, he sought for to slay him. So now he's the target now. So once he rise up, he becomes the target. Then Jonathan and Simon, his brother, and all that were with him, perceiving that, fled into the wilderness of Tekoa, and pitched their tents by the water of the pool as far. So another thing is, being a leader of Israel, you are target and get ready for persecution. That's come with the territory. It's like, if you don't want that to happen, just stay away. But if you get appointed, get ready that you will be persecuted. Things will be said against you. You will be, smeared, in front of people. All kinds of stuff, gonna be said before you. So if you want to be a public official, that's why sometimes we see things, we fall into the category of the same people that just talk without knowing certain things about the people, because they're in the public eye. Because all kinds of things, true or false, things gonna be said, right? So this is the life of somebody in the public. Once you pledge to be in the public eyes, you pretty much waive your rights, you pretty much waive your personal, the things that you have of personal, that is close to you. Forget that. Get ready. Just get ready. It comes with the territory.
Kind of like your right to privacy.
Yeah, your right to privacy is no more. The window is open. Just get ready. So you answer to what you want to answer. You let people think what they want to think, because people have opinion. That's one thing that we all know and we all witness. Regardless of anything, people have opinion. And if we're gonna be going against people's opinion when we're in the public eye, we're gonna get frustrated every day. And the job's gonna be more difficult. Because sometimes when people don't know certain things, what they do is people don't like not to know. That's one thing. If they don't know something, you best believe they're gonna make an opinion about it, and they're gonna feel, more comfortable. At least they know something, even though it may be further from the truth. Right? People are gonna have an opinion. That's human nature. If they don't know it, rather than, sometimes some people will seek out the facts. If they don't know something, they seek out the facts, and they find the facts, and they formulate their opinion based on facts. But some people, I don't know if it's because of laziness or because sometimes they feel like they got to have something to say regardless of the fact. They say something and they can try to convince you what they believe is true. It is. Right? So I say that in the stand of Jonathan here, where he's the target now. He's the new target.
Right.
Then Jonathan and Simon, his brother, and all that were with him, perceiving that, fled into the wilderness of the court, by the water of the pool as far. And especially, us who are, supposedly the ambassador of bringing out the word. Again, we're gonna have opinion. When we have opinion, we have to state it. This is my opinion based on my analogy of the situation, right? Then if the facts come out, but that still remain my analogy of the situation, and this is my opinion, right? But always try to base it on fact. Which, when Bacchides understood, he came near to Jordan with all his hosts upon the Sabbath day. So this is the old trick that they always use. Come in the Sabbath day, because the Sabbath day is our rest day and we should not do work, right? So it's always a tactic by the enemy, knowing, you know, our culture. Verse 35. Now Jonathan had sent his brother John, a captain of the people, to pray his friends, the Nabateans, that they might leave with them their carriage, which was much. Right? So Jonathan sent his brother, a leader of the multitude, and it was his friends. So he asked him for permission, right, to store with them the amount of stuff that they had. Now let's see verse 36. Of Jabri came out of Medaba and took John and all that he had and went their way with it. So the family of Jabri from Medaba, they came and they took the stuff and they went their way with it. After this came word of to Jonathan and Simon his brother that the children of Jabri made a great marriage and were bringing the bride from Nadabatha with a great train, as being the daughter of one of the great prince of Canaan. So now, after this, what happened? It was reported to John, right, and his brother Simon. So the family of Jabri, they have a celebration, a wedding celebration, and they were conducting the celebration. It was big, and the bride was the daughter of the noble people in Canaan, right, from Nabatha. And they had a great, you know, they escort them, you know, with a large group of people. So now in 38, he says, therefore, they remembered John, their brother, and went up and hid themselves under the covert of the mountain. Okay. Right. Verse 38, right? Therefore, they remembered John, verse 39, where they lifted up their eyes and looked, and behold, there was much ado and great carriage, and the bridegroom came forth, and his friend and brethren to meet them with drums and instruments of music and many weapons. Then Jonathan and they that were with him rose up against them from the place where they played an ambush place again, right, where they lay in ambush and made a slaughter of them, and such sort as many fell down dead, and the remnant fled into the mountain, and they took all their spoils. So now it's a payback, right? And Jonathan, that was his first encounter of intelligence and covert operation, right?
Or kind of, at least the one we read about when he's the head.
Right, right. He's the head right here. So that was, you know, that was introduction.
Good.
Welcome to Jonathan. Welcome to the world of Jonathan now. You know, you done away with Judas, but now Jonathan rose. All right, so that was a nice little, you know, ambush. You know, you attack them as they playing, you know, they dancing, you know, having that wedding, and then boom, you attack them. You know, imagine that, right? That wedding turns into a wedding of blood.
Okay. It's funny we're reading this. I know 1 Maccabees probably already is, but In the Game of Thrones, they have like a famous scene, one of the episodes called The Red Wedding. And not to say too much, it's similar.
Okay, verse 41 now. Thus was the marriage turned into mourning, and the noise of their melody into lamentation. So when they had avenged fully the blood of their brother, they turned again to the march of Jordan. 43. Now when Barchides heard hereof, he came on the Sabbath day unto the bank of Jordan with a great power. So now you're trying to pay him back. All right, you attacked us at a time when we least expected. So now we're gonna try to get them when they feel like it's a day of rest, and they're gonna be on not on a mindset of fighting. We're gonna try to pay him back. Because like they say, the way you disturb your enemy is to use the same tactic that he used against him. That's how you disturb him, because he least expected you to mirror him or use the same tactic that he uses. Done. Now when Barchides heard thereof, he came to the south. Okay, verse 44 now. Then Jonathan said to his company, let us go up now and fight for our lives, for it standeth not with us today as in time past. Right? So he said, yeah, listen, let's do what we got to do. The past is the past. Now we got to look forward to new fight, to new battles. Right? We're going to use the example of what we had in the past. We're going to look forward in the future to new way of fighting. So that's where it comes with, he's not trying to put himself in Judah's shoes. Right. Instead, he's go a little beyond what Judas has done in his own style.
We always joke about the 48 laws of power, but that's one of them.
Right, with Alexander.
You're right. I think use him as an example. He says, like, never try to fill a great man's shoes.
Right.
You're always going to go try to make your own mark.
Right.
And even in righteousness, we see even with like the transition from David to Solomon. Even though we saw Solomon as a man of greater riches, right, they're not really comparable, because David was more of a man of war to kind of lay the foundation.
Right.
And then Solomon would be one to build on top of it, to be a man of peace.
Right.
So there was never any need for like any envy or jealousy between the two of them, Right. They would both play a different role.
Right. So everybody was creative in their own way. It's never a sense of a competition. Like you gotta, climb the ladder of the next man, right? Or you leave the ladder behind. Like they say, competition breeds, a lot of problems, right? Anything that is geared towards competition, especially in the world, it's one day it's yours, the next day is the next man. So you're always unstable in keeping that title.
One more comparison on a carnal level, but with the Trading Places movie, we were joking about on Tuesday when we left the class. Check out like the behind the scenes on the DVD. They're interviewing Eddie Murphy. I forget the guy, but they keep asking questions about This is like when Eddie Murphy was like the next up and coming star. He was like how Kevin Hart is now. That was Eddie Murphy when that came out. They kept asking questions about Richard Pryor this, Richard Pryor that. Like, is Richard Pryor your idol? And Richard Pryor this, that. They kept like trying to compare him to Richard Pryor. And the way Eddie Murphy like responded to the questions about Richard Pryor was very tactful. He said, no, I definitely admire Richard Pryor. I definitely study him. He said, but what I do is with him and other comics like him, great comics like him, is I study the response he gets from the audience, the way the audience responds to what he says, and he says I take that. I try to get a similar response in my own way. Right. And the interview was kind of like, you could tell he was kind of like thrown off, because it was like, one, his answer did two things. One, it showed he wasn't just like some kind of kiss behind, like just trying to model himself after the man. But at the same time, he showed respect to whatever work that Richard Pryor did.
Right.
As far as comic.
Right.
Yeah. Comic.
Right. And it's very important to make sure we do that as far as Israelite men. Each Israelite man is a powerhouse. Right? It's a powerhouse where you admire every brothers and sisters that's doing the work. At the same time, you're creative in your own way. And honor each man for what they do, because we are doing the same end. But when you see brothers going against this guy, that brother going against this guy because he teaches this way and that brother teaches that way, and he say, I'm going to get him, he think he's somebody, we lose the whole thing. We lose the essence of what we're fighting for. Right? We lose the essence of what we're fighting for. We try to go against this guy, I'm going to get you. Why? Because he teaches this, he teaches that. Let the man teach, right? He's teaching, as long as he's not teaching going against Yahushua, let him teach.
The same. If the method differ, learn from his method.
Right.
Don't come against his method.
Right. And all that is, brothers may not like it or not, it's all geared towards watching Esau's competition, rather than being in a creative mindset. Right? So little creativity will go a long way. So when you go with creativity as opposed to a sense of competition, you can accomplish so much. The Most High can use you to accomplish so much than you would imagine. Right? But when you feel like a man standing in your way, and if you lose that position, somebody gonna come after it and take it, it's not a way to teach the Most High's word. In verse what? Verse 45. You want to read that?
Oh.
Okay. All right, verse 45. For behold, the battle is before us and beyond us, and the water of Jordan on the side, in that side, the marsh likewise in wood, neither is there place for us to turn aside. So understand your environment where you are. Right? You understand the geography of your location in any fight. And that's why you see any army general, they know the map. They know the map of where they're gonna fight before they even get there. But when they get there, they pretty much use that as the land as implementing the experience that they've been learning on the map on paper. Right? So Jonathan is very smart there. He understood his position, where he's at, where the water is, where the forest is, where he can run, where he can, retreat. Right? So you got to understand where you are, your position, your location. Con.
Yes.
And
we're coming about, let's say all different brother teachers and so on and so forth, right?
Mm-hmm.
First Philippians 1 verse 15.
Philippians 1.
First Philippians? Yes.
Yes, I said Philippians.
Got that new
Philippians 1 and 15.
Philippians 1.
Only in H1K. This is the first version of First Philippians.
No, Philippians 1. Philippians 1.
Brother my God, yeah. First Philippians. We got it first. All right. Tune in live next Sabbath.
Home of the truth.
Yeah, home of the truth.
Yeah, Philippians 1:15. Some indeed preach Christ even of envy and strife, and some also of goodwill. The one preach Christ of contention, not sincerely, supposing to add affliction to my bonds. Beloved, knowing that I am set for the defense of the gospel. What then? Notwithstanding every way, whether in pretense or in truth, Christ is preached. And I therefore do rejoice, yea, and will rejoice.
Fine. Fine. Because like I said, the spirit of competition is contagious in anything, in any aspect of society. But the key is not competition, it's creativity. Like creativity. Be creative in what you do, and you don't have to worry about competition. Right? Because competition is everywhere. You have the Olympics, you have games all over. It's all about competition. It's easy to get caught up in that realm, that competitive, edge. Easy to get caught up in it. But to be creative, it requires that you put your mindset thinking differently, thinking contrary, while you're still in the scriptures, but your mindset, your thought process is going towards new things. I don't worry about what so and so is doing. He's doing that. If as long as the person is doing righteous thing, I commend you. Keep doing that, and let's keep moving forward. Let's be creative. Yeah.
I think in any scenario, we look at any competitive scenario, whether it's teams versus each other, individuals versus each other, being an underdog, it's like you got so much more food behind you.
Right.
Whereas when you're on top, it's like more difficult because it's like you have to figure out everything everyone else is trying to do to take you off the throne.
Right.
You don't have much room for creativity. You're just trying to keep what you have. Versus others on their way up, they have less resources. That means they got to be the wheels got to be spinning even more to try to figure out how do I take my limited resources and still take on this bigger, Goliath, so to speak. Right.
It's always to try to outdo somebody. That's why I try to outdo Yahusha. People, while Yahusha was there, people was teaching. Yahusha didn't tell you stop teaching. He said, let him be. If they're not against us, they for us. Let him do the work.
What was that with Philippians?
Philippians chapter 1 in verse 15.
What kind?
18.
It's Philippians 1, 15 to 18.
However it is.
As long as you don't bring new doctrines, some new improved, some new improved doctrine and try to tell people you got it first. Yeah, that's not scripture. With me, that's some other stuff. That's some other stuff. Verse 46 now. Wherefore cry ye now unto heaven, that ye may be delivered from the hand of your enemies. Right? From the hand of your enemies. Wherefore cry ye now unto heaven, that ye may be delivered from the hand of your enemies. With that, they joined battle, and Jonathan stretched forth his hand to smite Bacchides, but he turned back from him. Then Jonathan and they that were with him leaped into Jordan and swam over unto the farther bank, albeit the other passed not over Jordan unto them. So there were slain of Bacchides side that day about 1,000 men. The saga continued. Afterward, returned Bacchides to Jerusalem and repair the strong cities in Judea, the fourth in Jericho, in Amos, in Betharon, in Bethel, in Tamatha, Pharathani, in Taphon. These did he strengthen with high walls, with gates, and with bars. Right? So for security. And in them he set a garrison, that they might work malice upon Israel. He fortified also Bethsura in Gazora in a tower, and put forces in them in provision of victuals. So Barkides built, things to, as he returned, he built fortresses. So he returned to Jerusalem and built all these cities in Judea. Right? He built those fortresses in Jericho, in all different places around about Israel. So he fortified towns and built them, and also set up garrisons so that they can oppress Israel.
And back then to now, we know that's like the worst kind of campaign, right?
Mm-hmm.
The best being campaign where you don't have the sword or an arrow, or I should say, or a bow.
Mm-hmm.
Right? You can win the enemy by having them willingly submit.
Right.
Sneak attack, eh?
Versus the other half, versus the worst campaign in warfare, which is besieging walled cities.
Mm-hmm.
It becomes very expensive. Have some kind of spies on the inside to let you know about ways to get in.
Mm-hmm.
It costs so much to keep keep your camps
Right.
there, keep supply chains coming to them, build up the what do you call them, like the temporary walls. Sometimes they might use bags of sand or something. There's a bulwark encampments. All stuff just costs time and money.
Mm-hmm.
You'll be there a while.
Right.
So it's from a military carnal perspective, it makes sense.
Right.
Because he knows, okay, we got someone else. I gotta have a strong defense before I use my strong arms.
Right. And also he took the sons of the leading men, right, of Israel. He took their sons and locked them up in citadels, kind of like in a camp type mode, where they cannot elevate in society. Right. So if you keep them locked in and indoctrinate them, by the time you lead them out, then they're gonna do your bidding. So that's exactly what he did. So he was he was very tactical, because he saw that fighting against Israel, man to man, blow to blow, is not gonna. Yeah. So we need some kind of ideology, doctrines, and way of cultivate their own way of doing things into them. Right, put it into them. So that's exactly what he did right here. So he fortified also the cities, Bethlehem and Gaza. Besides, he took the chief men's sons in the country for hostage and put them into the towers at Jerusalem to be kept. So he kept them there so that they don't rise up. Right, keep them in certain situations. Right, give them food there and keep them there where they don't have any involvement learning about their culture on the outside. Indoctrinate them according to your liking. Verse 54. Moreover, in the 153rd year, in the second month, Archimus commanded that the wall of the inner court of the sanctuary should be pulled down. He pulled down also the works of the prophets. And as he begun to pull down, even at that time was Archimus plagued, and his enterprise hindered, for his mouth was stopped, and he was taken with a palsy, so that he could no more speak anything, nor give order concerning his house. So the Most High came to correct him. And said, got him. Yeah. What makes you hot is gonna make you cold. You was red hot when you just start messing with the Most High stuff, messing with his altar, trying to do your own thing, you're gonna get it coming. So his work was hindered. He couldn't speak. He became a dumb man. and he was paralyzed. He had he had the palsy. Yep. So he could no longer speak his plan. Imagine that.
Not to mention, he was a house of Aaron himself.
Yep.
So he's even held to that even higher standard. You such a sellout like that?
Yep.
What's happening? Remember, Alchemist was Uncle Tom. When we used to say the Samuel, right? The one that's kissing Greek behind him all day long behind. Look what they doing. Look at Judas, man. Look what they doing. Get him. That's what they were doing to the Greek leaders, right? You know? Go get Judas. And the Most High putting that back on him. Yeah, for being like that. He wanted the precept for himself. Instead of like Judas and brothers.
Yep. So verse 56 now it says, so Alchemist died at that time with great torment, great agony.
He's like a scripture in Malachi, right? You corrupted the covenant of God.
Gone. So what this all worth? All the thing that he was doing are worth nothing. The agony that he has, even for a short time, mess him up. That little enjoyment that he had, was nothing compared to what he had. The Most High plague him with. So now when Bacchus saw that Alchemist was dead, he whereupon the land of Judea was in rest for 2 years. So even he took a break. Man, let me lay back for a minute.
So pretty much Alchemist, if he was alive today, he would have went to the Robert E. Lee statue, started buffing it, shining it, making it look nice like that. Keep this one up here. And anytime he saw a statue of like MLK or somebody, he probably tried to take that one down. He's not American.
So now, Jonathan was still there. They had a plan to take down Jonathan because Alchemist was the one that, keep things going. And, again, religion, they had the politics down pat. Alchemist had the religion. Alchemist, came in with the religious doctrine, to keep the people not serving the Most High, serving other doctrine. And also they had the economics.
Support.
Right. So now with Alchemist, calm down, now it's a loss in the religious part because you got to get a strong leader, strong religious leader that can straighten the people. So Jonathan is a problem, right? So in verse 58 now, he says, then all the ungodly men held a council saying, behold, Jonathan and his company are at ease and dwell without care. Now therefore we will bring Bacchus hither, who shall take them all in one night. So, Jonathan had to go. Yeah, you got to take care of him. So they went and consulted with him. Then removed he and came with a great host and sent letters privately to his adherents in Judea, that they should take Jonathan and those that were with him, albeit they could not, because their counsel was known unto them. So as they plotting to get Jonathan, and Jonathan also has his informant as well, working, to undo the plot. So he started to come with a large force and trying to do everything on the secret tip.
Kind of like we were saying earlier, for a ruler to kind of take the reins, he's got to have those things in play. You see, it's another map, it's another terrain, where he can go, where he can't go, who's there. Then at the same time, if you have animated them. We got to know what their plans are.
Right.
We got to have some information from their side, some kind of spy, some kind of double agent.
Mhm.
You can get info from. Otherwise, you're fighting blind on both fronts.
Right.
And otherwise, you're going to make mistakes, and you just might die.
Right. Yeah. So nowadays it's more sophisticated. You have right. You have satellite. You have satellite. You have cell phone. You know, as long as you make a cell phone, you can cross your cell phone, listen to your conversation with other leaders. You read your email. Right. It's even much easier today than it was. You know, back then you had to actually send somebody there, and that person could be killed.
Right.
Right. So now all you got to do is set up your line, set up your wires. You know, set up. You know, try to get into their email so you can read their messages. And that's how WikiLeaks is a danger. If WikiLeaks would work with them, they would do so much. So they will read all kinds of government emails going back and forth, and that's why they hate this guy. You're supposed to be one of us. You should come, you know, work with us. Come on, work with me, you know. So even him, he get fed up with the system, and he set up his own thing. And you know, sometimes people want to do things for profit because the system is profit, you know, driven. You probably find a way where you can make more money doing that, but dealing with secret things like that is going to be hard for you to make money because the government's going to be after you, especially the government of the United States, because they want the information that you have. They wonder how you got it. Come work with me. You know, we'll give you a house, car, how much money you need, how much money you want. After that, we'll set you up in a company. You have a company, you know, but work with us. Give us that technology.
It's like the Babylonians did when they rounded us up, right?
Yeah.
Took all the break, so smart.
That's why even in the system, you got to even watch out for your own people.
Yeah.
Because it's your own people they're going to send in between you,
Right.
you know, to get information.
Right.
They're not going to send their people. They're going to have people in your own nation that they indoctrinated in their system and make sure they sit nice. You know, give them some, you know, nice house, you know, nice bank account, wire some money in their account, you know, you set. Is just go there and infiltrate these Negroes. Find out what they're up to. If they have any plan to do anything, you know, against the system, to harm us. You know. So the system of intelligence is necessary in any system. Right?
Because that's thinking this is a Black Panther party. They infiltrated with our own people, but they couldn't send Esau in there.
Right. Same thing like you say, yeah, that's how they infiltrate the Black Panther party. They send, you know, their own people in there. That's how they got infiltrated.
Same thing with the initial Islam, nothing else.
Same thing.
All you, because I mean, like they say, a lot of men, they got a price. What's your price?
Yep.
And once you state your price, you get paid.
Right.
That's it.
No, like I hear about 501c.
501c3.
501c3.
What's wrong with that?
Yeah, I think they're kind of what I heard how it is that you can go and teach what they teach, but you know, keep it down a little bit. You know.
I mean, the 501c3 is just a revenue code for a tax-exempt organization. I mean, if you tax exempt, I mean, you there's nothing wrong with it. Just know that you're part of the system, and if you're getting a lot of benefit with that tax exempt, because many companies, when they give you grants or they give you funding, right, you got to declare it, right? You declare it, you may not pay taxes on it, but you declare it. And companies like to know that you're 501c3 in order for them to, give you funding so they can, claim it in their tax and things like that. So the privilege that you have, if you don't want to lose it, you just, slide a little bit. Just don't do anything crazy. Because those companies that you go to, because the reason why you go and get a 501c3 so you can get funding, you can be tax exempt, right? So meaning that just in that, you in the system. You don't want to lose that, right? Nobody want to lose that if you have the privilege and you start rising up and you start getting funding from different organizations. It looks good. But once companies start knowing that you're not with the system and you're not with them, they stop funding you, and you already had a large operation going. That's gonna put a dent in your in your development, in your growth. So everything must be done. You got to know what you're getting into and why. If you're gonna grow, for what purpose? What is the purpose you grow? Are you growing and you're helping the system more, or you're growing helping your people? You got to have the attitude where, okay, I got 501c3, you could take it tomorrow, I don't care. You could revoke it tomorrow, that's not going to stop my operation. That's the attitude you should have. But if you think that at 501c3, man, I don't want to lose that privilege, they're going to use that against you.
Well, how you go about with that 501c3?
501c3, you just file for it.
Apply for it?
You file for it.
Oh, okay. And then you got to have a certain amount of background on it, right? No,
it's different questions. You could go online and get a 501c3 paper and fill it out. Sometimes there's a fee attached to it, depending on your, your organization. You send it with the fee, and they analyze it, and they pass it. When they pass it, you can, accept donations, or you can, ask any large organization for donation. That's why people do the 501c3, so that they can get large donations from organization that require that you 501c3. Right. So now, with that in mind, I can get large funds from organizations. Then you already see what the mindset is. For what purpose? That you want to get those funding. Is it really to help your people, or you see a way to break in so you can come up? Right. So you can come up.
Because there's a news reporter in LA named Gary West. He did the thing for like 5 years, and he said that the FBI, they have in every group of race, they have at least 25 informants. In the black race, the Chinese, Japanese, Puerto Rican, Cuban, you name it. He said they have informants in every race, in every neighborhood. They have like at least 25 informants.
Oh yeah.
Not that I know about it too. I think also Kwamala too. There's a guy named Gabby Webb. He did the thing about the crack cocaine when they had funded the war down there, and he did the thing and he found that out, and he said, "Wow." And I've got another guy who's on Like It Is. I've got me Dan Hart, something like that. And he said that he was informed for the FBI for many years. So that's the same thing that we talk about with the Maccabees is happening now today.
It's so funny when they come out. You always, I got to wonder why. It's like, have they, preferred them over a new younger spy, a new younger informant, money shine up. Sometimes it's like, you gotta get a book deal out of this.
Right.
The informants that come out, it's like, what's the motivation behind all of a sudden now, telling all, so and so's tell all tale, film at 11, it's like, why not?
Right. Yeah, so a lot of those churches, they 501c3.
Probably so.
Yeah, a lot of them.
Help the church or help the people.
All right.
Case by case.
Yeah, because I'm not gonna speak on no church because I don't know their operation. I'm one of the guys. I don't like to generalizing everybody. You know, because and some people, I don't know, you know, their true sense why they do the things they do. But you do have people, you know, will go out there and use that thing for their advantage, and then hide the fact that, you know, you just hide it. And in this business world, man, it's crazy. You know, it's all about, you know, I got to get what I got to get. I don't know, yeah.
Kind of, you were bringing out earlier about the dragon, the beast, the false prophet, politics, economics, and
Religion.
That's the third branch of politics. Because the political side of things, those are the two things you see. You see the public sector, the nonprofit sector, and the nonprofit. Those are the three main things that the United States government is based on, right? As far as everything you see that they have in it. So those three arms of the political side of things, they kind of feed each other. The economics kind of touches the private sector more so. But yeah, that nonprofit's kind of like that third, I guess you say that third player in the game. Private sector will kind of tap into that for another purpose.
Right. This is in also, they said some companies set it up for washing money, you know, channel money, especially in crisis. You know, in crisis, you know, you can take a large money laundering, take drugs money, and funnel it through non-profit organization, and you just go get it in the back door. So now it become clean in the system.
Oh yeah, do that. They take their drug money and try to get it clean.
Right. Yeah, it's a process. It goes through a process. It's his laundry, you know.
I was laundry.
It goes through a process, you know. You make dirty money, drug money or whatever, racketeering money. You take it and make its way to the bank and take it out again. Because once it's in the bank, and then it's settled in the bank, and then once you can use it without any problem, now it become clean. Right? So wash it, the placement. There's different level. It's a system to the money laundering process. As you take that money, there's a placement. You place it in a bank. From the placement, and then there's different scenario. You go and you take it. Now the money is in circulation. Right. It becomes clean money, and it's big money. So a lot of those guys, you know, they use different tactics because they can funnel that money to different non-profit organizations, especially in other countries. You have a non-profit established in your country, and there's a crisis happen. They need to wash that money. They buy some, you know, so food and things like that, and they pretend like they help funnel it to the organization. That money become clean and make its way to the banking system. Boom. Next thing you know, it's clean money. You know, different way people use this thing, but do have people who use it, you know, for good means to help people. Right now we are at verse 60. So what this guy did in verse 60, he had a large group of operatives go in the country where Jonathan is throughout Judea. He sent letters out, private letter, right, to let the people know to get Jonathan for him. So that's what he was doing. And doing a covert operation. It says, and sent letters privily to his adherents in Judea. Right? So his allies, in another word. People were allies with them. He sent letters out in Judea that they should take Jonathan and those that were with him. Albeit they could not, because their counsel was not known unto him. So he found out.
So he went to a voting thing, Jonathan.
Yeah, so what happened is they got allies. That's why I don't know how you could make allies with Esau in a way, because especially when you're dealing with your people, when you're in close communication, you're trying to work with your people, watch out for Esau. Yeah. Watch out for your own people, because he's going to use your own people and use them as allies. Next thing you know, you cannot tell them anything. They turn against you. You wonder why the men go, yo, we blacks, man. Why you acting like that? Yeah. Nah, man, I'm on a different, you know, I'm on a different game, man. I don't know what you're talking about.
I'm a promoter, you know. It's my big.
Yeah.
Like that guy said in Panther, like the Black Panther, he said, that was black power. I'm down with green power.
Oh, yeah. That's what he said. That's what he said. That's what he said. That's what he said. It's black power, I'm down with green power.
Well, you down with green power, they're gonna bring you that green. All they gotta do, you just gotta do a little work here and there, you know, and you get that green. It's that easy. They tell you so. It's that easy. All you gotta do. Sometimes you see people. I mean, now we don't have to worry about it because us and the truth, we're not doing anything against the government.
No.
We're not going. All we do is teach the Bible, teach the truth.
Right.
But you know, people who into doing stuff, you know, you see people come in your neighborhood. You know, strangers, they come and live, and then you know they move out and things like that. You know, those guys, they doing their work. You know, you got people who move every year. They in different spots. They got an information, you know, get to what they need, and they move.
Information, they move on out.
They move on out. They working, informants.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
A long time ago, I had a guy. Somehow, you know, I got in trouble. So the guy was doing. Got in trouble. They put me up with he was I'm trying to think of what anyway, he did some work for the government. So they had to, once they knew, tried out, so you know, took me to lunch and all that, things like that. So he actually wanted me to be a spy.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, so he gave me pictures, he gave me money. He said, all you have to do is give out this number right here, and we give you some money. You know what I mean? I did it for a minute or so, you know, but I definitely need some money.
Is it?
Then when he said, oh, I want you to do this area right here, I want these guys right here. I said, no, put a picture up. Have you seen me? That was just for me.
Yeah, the people like that, they don't stick around.
Then he said he wanted to post me when I want to post a post office man. He wanted me to be a spy. Find information for him. You know what I mean?
Mm.
So he wanted a post office man. He wanted him. And then 20 from Carpenter. He wanted people from down there. He gave me pictures of him.
24 count.
24 from Carpenter.
20 from Carpenter.
Mm-hmm.
In South Philly.
Oh, Carpenter, yes.
Yeah, then he had pictures of different people and shit. He's coming out of my house and burning down.
You surprised at the interview about consent, right?
Yeah. I saw that snippet you're talking about. Oh, snap. They try to get at him to find out stuff about 50. Asking private questions about 50.
About 50 cents.
Right.
Trying to set him up. Yeah.
You know, that's what this guy did, man. I guess, you know, I came out of prison. Or, you know, I was on probation, I didn't do the prison, right? They gave me the probation and they gave me this guy. Too,
Right. I mean, I'll hit you with this. You can't, it's very difficult to be a so-called black man and make money in the system without you, you know, like working hard and try to do your thing. It's very challenging, not saying it's impossible.
Right.
It's very challenging to make money without the system, especially when you do things that bring large money in the bank.
Right.
It's very challenging.
Mm-hmm.
Because at some point they want to find out how you make it, because you're not supposed to make it. You're not supposed to make it if it's not, you know, you don't get a hookup from, you know, from them. You know, they know you, they recommend you, and you deal with them, because the key is, if you survive without them, that means something.
Mm-hmm.
That means, you know, you learning to be independent. Right? You're learning to be independent, and somehow, some way, you know, some dirt gonna be thrown on you. Yeah, I mean, I've witnessed, even in my business, it's a very dangerous business. Very dangerous business. At any time, anybody can say something and something can happen. I remember I told you, right? what happened in
About the news.
about the news.
Right.
Yeah. You get to a point where every tax season, before tax season starts, or in the midst of tax season, they would find a bunch of tax return already being prepared in all over the place in the street in Philadelphia.
Okay.
With your information on it, like you prepare those tax returns.
Oh, okay.
And the news will just come out. News will come out, and the news will come in and make a noise out of it. What would that do is the noise will come to your place and say your name and everything. So now people would get scared to go to your place. You know what I mean? So and you wonder where the hell this thing starts. Where it started, who started it? You cannot pinpoint where it started.
Okay. Yeah, be very careful.
2014.
Yep. Yep.
You gotta be very careful.
Gotta be very careful anything either when it comes to making money in the system. It's stocked, and the thing is stocking. Again, if nothing, you can make money. You can make money, you can go, but keep in mind there's a lot of challenges. A lot of things in you happen. Sometimes you cannot even know how it happened. So
in short, oppression is a full-time job. But then, they have resources at their disposal. It's work. There's work and strategy involved. There's a lot of mental work that goes into keeping up people under.
Right. So understand human relations in business. With the Mosai's help, I was able to deflate all that negativity.
Okay.
Right. You got people calling you, hey, what happened? You all right? You all right? Is my information okay? I said, nah, it's all right. It's all right. You downplay it. But if you go into it and try to explain to everybody, trying to buy it, now you become the victim of your own, your own advertising. You advertise it yourself. You start telling people. So that downplay it where least people see it as possible, the better it is for me. Verse 60.
Verse 61, man.
Right. Almost done. Gone. Wherefore they took of the men of the country that were authors of that mischief. About 50 persons. See? About 50 persons. So they uncovered a plot. Jonathan uncovered a plot. But you know what? Let's see what happened to them. But in today's society, it's very difficult to do what Jonathan is gonna be doing right here. Authors of that mischief. About 50 persons, and slew them. So when you get those people, you kill them. But today you cannot do that. They can do it, but you cannot do it. They do it. I mean, you can do it, but you got to make sure you're gonna get caught. Right? People like that, you got to get rid of them once you catch them. Because what happened is, if they have a chance to kill you, they'll kill you. So why not get rid of them? You can't have pity for people like that. Right. So that's why they can say anything they want against Castro. He was good at doing that. He find you, you mess up, he line you up. That's it. Bye-bye. Navia.
Yeah, just real quick. That's all I'm gonna say. Just when it comes to in the spiritual realm, as far as what we deal with, we could put that thread out there from the spiritual standpoint. You know what the brother Malachi is always saying. He's a righteous mouthpiece. You come in here, you go out, you're gonna lose some stuff on the way out. You need the truth, So it's like, make sure when you come in, you want to stay in peace.
Okay.
You go back in the world, it's just gonna be a problem. Whether you realize it or not. But on a carnal level, you're talking about now, you got to be able to back up what you say. If people don't see that enforcement, whether it's legal activity or illegal activity, you're not going to have that fear of respect. You got to back up what you do with action. People who transgress, they have to be dealt with, and it has to be something that is known. when people see that and they recognize it, they go, "Oh, don't F with this person." And you got juice.
Right.
Because in the kingdom of the law, such a command is going to get full force, full effect. All that stuff is like, no, you don't want to be doing that. It's a public stoning, public burning. You know, all of that.
Right.
It's wisdom behind it.
Right. And you see this right here, and that was whatever allies they had, even if it's Israelite, they keep those men and get rid of them. Boom, make an example out of them. This guy didn't play around. So it's very tough to be in a leadership position. Sometimes you got to take extreme measures. You got to take extreme measures now. You see, including get rid of people.
They shall surely put that.
Yeah.
Their blood shall be upon
Holding back his sword.
And right, yeah. Today they do it. They do. You know how they do? They do it. That's why you have people disappear overnight.
Yeah.
They have secret weapon that they get rid of you.
Or
Or think you, if you are a political person, that they cannot get rid of you like that because it's gonna have too much public outcry, and it's gonna demonize the system. They put you in a Guantanamo, or they set you up with something that make it seem like you did it to yourself.
you know that picture
or next week.
Oh man, once upon a time. Once upon a time in the once upon a time in America. That was that picture. If they changed to watch it. That's what Bobby Nero was
I think it's a hard movie ever. Like 6 hours long. I didn't watch the whole thing, but I didn't see the whole thing.
You should see the ending.
Right. So see what we're reading right here. That's strategies and things like that. We were on it. It's not right now. We're learning this. We're not learning this from Esau. We're just seeing Esau put these things in application. But those things already been going. It's like, as we read, things that was before. You're dealing with the same kind of spirit. It's the same tactic that is being used back then. Same tactic being used now, except they get more sophisticated. 62. Afterward, verse 62. Afterward, Jonathan and Simon and they that were with him got them away to Beth Basin, which is in the wilderness, and they repaired the cage thereof and made it strong. So, for example, you had a U.S. senator, Haitian senator that got elected before he took oath in public. The U.S. went and got him because he was fighting for the people, right? They claimed that he was facilitate drug dealings in the country. He went to court. They did not have the evidence. That happened recently. They did not have the evidence. And when the lawyer asked him, okay, you say he was involved in drug trafficking, show us the proof. If you have the proof, show us the proof. And they said years they've been following him. They did not have the proof. So now they said they had a count of money laundering. They dropped the drug. Now they said it's money laundering. But he got elected as senator. Eventually, he could work his way into the presidency. And being the fact that he's an outspoken person, right, and he's very vocal and he's very powerful back there in Haiti, they took him before he even rise up. So what happened now? He was in prison in Florida. They gave him, I think, 5 to 9 years, right, if he behaved on the money laundering part. So the drug part, they didn't hold.
What are you doing with sentencing?
I'm not sure. Let me finish with that, right? So he made a declaration. He spoke on, I don't know how he did it. He found a way to give a speech. And he speak and somebody recorded and put it on social media. The next day they remove him from Florida. They move him to another place, I think somewhere in Pennsylvania.
It's like, you gotta put him somewhere I don't know nobody.
Right.
Cut him off.
He claimed that he got kidnapped. The U.S. government kidnapped him from Haiti, and they conspired. They kidnapped him in conspiracy with with Haitian government who gave him over because they had other personal issues. The Haitian people had personal issue with him. That was in government at the time, had personal issue with him because he had one of the government officials locked up, right, for something that he did. So he give him up to the U.S.
They gave him up
Right.
for what he had did.
Right. So it's a lot of these people, when they want to get you, they'll trump up any charges against you. Not to say that sometimes our people are not guilty, but usually, they will make up stuff just to get you.
It sticks. Doesn't matter. It's true enough.
Come on. 62. Afterward, Jonathan and Simon and they that were with him got them away to Beth-Basi, which is in the wilderness. And they repaired the decays thereof and made it strong. Verse 23. Which thing, when Bacchides knew, he gathered together all his hosts and sent word to them that were in Judea. Then when he and laid siege against Beth-Basi, and they fought against it a long season and made engine of war. So whenever covert operation fell, the next thing is we got to move in by force. That's the last stride, because now we don't want them to put out that we did that. Before too much information can get out, we got to get rid of that guy quick. Exactly what happened to Saddam Hussein, right? It happened all over the place. You got to get rid of him quick, fast.
Osama bin Laden allegedly 0 dark 30. They did it.
Right. So you cannot catch him. Once you catch him, you're guilty to die. You catch him in his own treachery, now you're the one who's guilty to die. Verse 64. Then when he and laid siege against Beth-Basi. I heard that already. Verse 65. But Jonathan left his brother Simon in the city and went forth himself into the country. And with a certain number went he forth. And he smote Adonarchis and his brethren, and the children of Phasaron in their tent. And when he began to smite them, it's like he's doing that guerrilla warfare, right? Guerrilla warfare. Hit and run tactic, yeah. Before they even rise up in the morning, you get rid of them quick time before they have chance to, And when he began to smite them and came up, because it's easier, less you waste less energy, spend less energy. Yeah, you don't have to fight them day and night. Get rid of them quick time. And when he began to smite them and came up with his forces, Simon and his company went out of the city and burned up the engine of war. See, early in the morning, you set them on fire. Quick time, before they even get a chance to operate, you get rid of them. So that's why they don't want us to read this book. They don't want us to read this book. You read this book, you start seeing, different things that who you are, and they hope that we don't write and start, using these things, right? But we're not gonna do that. We just know him, and we know Yahusha is gonna do, his thing. They would not want us to read this thing, because those are, military strategy right there, guerrilla warfare tactics, things that, that's been working for years and years. You leave that in the hand of the wrong Israelite, that's it, man.
The elders on, we always talk about the spook who sat by the door.
Right.
Just how impactful that kind of movie was, where that was the premise of it. And then with the straight-laced, student went to school, got admitted into the CIA program, which is the United States Spy Organization. Came out of the CIA, decided to work as a social worker, caseworker in the community, but then used his skills to pretty much take gangs in different major cities and turn them into operatives. Show them what he learned and show them pretty much how to deal with Esau on all levels, on the levels of propaganda, on the levels of military, on the levels of what we can hear, hit and run tactics, using, understanding how cities are laid out, that you can attack them, in strategic ways. Right. And he went into history where they were talking to folks who watched it when they were young, like directors now, like Robert Townsend, I think was on this interview, and he was saying, like, they loved it, man, but it was like, after like 2 weeks in the movie theater, it just disappeared. They just snatched the movie out of the theater, so you couldn't go and see them. You couldn't even find a movie.
It's a dangerous movie.
For like years. It came out in the early 70s, and that time, it was a dangerous time where like if something like that actually took root, we would be living in a different America.
Right. So watching these things, Kahana, Yaukana.
Yeah, I just want to read something quick. This is when the Most High would put, later on, put the Spirit upon us, Yeah, Micah 5:8.
Michael?
Yeah, Micah 5:8. And the remnant of Jacob shall be among the Gentiles in the midst of many people, as a lion among the beasts of the forest, as a young lion among the flocks of sheep, who, if he go through, both tread it down and tear it in pieces, and none can deliver.
Gone. Yeah, if you're gonna be any advisor to anybody, read this book. You're gonna be advisor in any government, you read this book. You'll be one of the best advisors, right? And strategists. And this contains, military strategy, fight, warfare, anything, will help run a government is right there. You don't need to go to Harvard and Yale and read a bunch of complicated foreign policy books. Waste of time.
Henry Kissinger is diplomacy.
What was that, Kanan, scripture he read?
You just read Micah 5:8.
Micah 5:8.
Written by Henry Kissinger, right? He's like one of Esau's mad geniuses, still alive. He advised like 6 or 7 presidents, for the last 6 or 7 presidents that we had. He's got like this book called Diplomacy, and it's like mad thick. And it's kind of like one of the books that's like one of the pillars of foreign policy, that kind of thing.
Right.
But like you said, books like that, you go in the Bible, read 3 verses, teach everything you need.
Right. Right.
Plus also, we as Israelites, we're all over the place. So it's not like saying we just gonna just rise up like that and we're all over the place.
Right, and then this is not our plan.
Everywhere we're all over.
Yeah, it's not our plan.
And the Most High raise us up, we're all over the place.
Fun. Right, so that's why we gotta be, it's the Most High's plan, and Esau might think he's just keeping us in our place. To not rise up in governments and politics. Even if you have a few of us rise up, but it's gonna be under massive and do massive bidding, but not according to what Jonathan, Judas, what they were doing. It's not gonna be according to that. Right? So read this right here. Great strategies, man. You this in business.
Folks have no idea where you got it from. They go in their office, no big bookcase.
Right.
But,
right. Because you know how people, once you rise up, they show you all the books that they read, and they have a library and what books you read,
Yeah. Big bookcase behind you. Yeah. When you're on YouTube doing a presentation in your office.
Yeah. Sometimes those guys, they only have one system. They have a system. They stick with it for years, but they confuse you by having all these libraries, thinking that they get. It's all confusion. Deception.
Yes, but they hire us to infantry to break down all this stuff, make it simple, and then copyright it. Your assignment is over. Move it.
What verse are we on now? Verse 7, verse 8, right? 70. All right. Wherefore, when Jonathan acknowledged, he sent ambassadors unto him to the end he should make peace with him and deliver them the prisoners. All right. So when Jonathan saw what happened, actually, let me read that 69 so we can get a better understanding.
So I think you had it was at 68.
68? Yeah. Okay. All right. 68. So his counsel travail was in vain. Okay. And forth against Bacchai, who was discomfited by them, and they afflicted him sore, for his counsel in travail was in vain. So whatever he did, all the work that he put in, right, to defeat Jonathan. 69. Wherefore he was very wroth at the wicked men that gave him counsel to come into the country, and so much as he slew many of them, and purposed to return into his own country. So now he got misinformation. So he took vengeance on those people who give him bad information, wrong information. So information is key when it comes to war. In anything, information is key. In anything, information is knowledge, right? Having knowledge of what you're up against. So having the knowledge will give you more confidence to proceed. It's in anything, in any job that we get the first time. If you're not knowledgeable about it, the first day, you're nervous. You're nervous, and you start, as you learn and you get more knowledge, you get more information. 2-3 weeks in the job, you start moving differently, because now your knowledge increase, and you start getting hang of the position. But all that lack of knowledge on the job on the first time kind of like make you a little bit handicapped. So now if you proceed and you believe in the knowledge, and the knowledge is false, everything else you're gonna do is gonna be a waste. You're gonna lose life, you're gonna waste time. Think about it. If you learn the wrong thing in the job, it might cause you to get fired, because you might do the job not according to how they want it. You might mess the whole thing up. That may cause you a job. So it's good to get the right information, the right knowledge. Right. So that's
you start flipping burgers at Burger King. You're doing 20, then after a while you're doing 50 a day. Like what behind your back?
Right. And the first time you came in, you're like, man, I'm burning. You have oil all over the place. You burn the first couple of times. After that, man, you're a master. You start flipping burgers. You're like, man, right? Yeah, kind. So knowledge, once you have the right knowledge, you're able to proceed. So knowledge is very important. But him right here, he was upset. He got the wrong knowledge, and he went to, especially when you got knowledge to fight.
Right.
When you're being advised to go fight against, it's just like when you go to America, go into Iraq, and they think this, thing's supposed to be that way. Next thing you know, the people start blowing themselves up and people get killed. You didn't get that information before. Or there's booby trap, those guys, this is how they operate. That's why they want to get as much knowledge as possible before they go into war, to prevent, or to minimize the casualty of war. And also resources and money. Because war is it's costly, it's a cash burning, activity. Right. Right. After that, after all that you spend, you got to get the spoils.
Pretty much.
You have to recoup what you spend. Yep. So that's why when they go there, they blow their infrastructure, and before that, you have those government contractors line up after the war, have their own company fund different things going on, and after the war, they can come in, so they can reap the benefit of the money that they spent to companies. And then on the back burner, once you go, government officials, and get some, kickbacks from those companies. Corrupt business. Usually they tell you it's the taxpayers' money. It's a corporation. You never see the taxpayers over there back in those countries. Usually you see those government contractors in there making the money after the war.
Yeah, it was so crazy. Which makes the business model that much crazier. But they're making money off the people that are recently conquered. But we're still the ones funding the soldiers, bullets,
Oh yeah.
helicopters, you know, military equipment, everything else.
Right, because usually the reason why it happened like that is the Fed through the banks fund the government to go to war. It's supposed to recoup the money in tax revenues. And who owns the government? Who owns the banks? Those are big investors. Those are the big top guys with wealth, big money. So they don't want collecting. So they don't want funding the war. In the first, they front the money and then collecting from the people. And once the people, the money is not coming fast enough, and I mean they just a little bit that they collect, right, is enough for them to keep funding things into different businesses, because that's not the only thing they got going on. Right, so that's why you have a very few people on things, because they keep multiplying by violence or by any means necessary. Right. So wherefore, when Jonathan had knowledge, he sent ambassadors unto him, to the end he should make peace with him and deliver them the prisoners. So now Jonathan kind of see what's going on. Let's see how we can, appease the situation and see if we can find a common ground where they deliver our people that they imprison, and then we can keep going. Because in any war, you have to have a bargaining chip. Now, Jonathan is established his bargaining power, meaning he can get rid of them anytime. So if you don't want your people to get killed, so what's up? You want to come to the table and speak? But now you got to, give me my people that you locked up. Right? That's exactly what you see. All tricks Pyongyang is using. He's flying 2-3 missiles in the air. You cannot tell if they're sophisticated or not. But the key is you see it. Right? So now, okay, I have this now. So what's up? Let's talk. Right? Right? So that's pretty much what it is. It's talk. He's not gonna do anything. Trust me. At least not right now. When the Mosai said it's time to do it, then all things gonna be. But right now it's psychological warfare. Posture. And show people that he can shake the beast. Now he can get their attention. You keep it moving, keep him dancing. And China and in Russia love it. They may not want to come out and tell that to America because they have business deal with him, right? But they can use this guy, to keep him unstable, shake him. Yeah. Because I mean, which guy's gonna fly a missile towards the country? He's gonna come out on TV and tell you. Usually, so and so got a missile drop. He ain't gonna tell you. If he tells you, he ain't gonna do it. That's
I'm gonna kill you. I'm gonna cut you. I'm gonna do all that stuff to you. Like what they did to Pearl Harbor back in the day. They just attacked.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, they definitely did.
Yeah, he just
Remember though, that's actually what the U.S. wanted, because the Japanese told them over and over again, like, look, this embargo you got going on, this other stuff you got going against us is a problem. Cease and desist, otherwise we'll retaliate. We told them more than once. We check out the papers.
You cannot lay it.
Right. Then finally, it's enough's enough. Then you got the problem. They don't tell that part.
You cannot lay at night.
right. So now that's another thing, right? And now look at this man say he's gonna, he's considering. He didn't say he's gonna die. He's considering dropping on Guam if anything happens. But just come out and say it, he ain't gonna do it. He ain't gonna do it. Yeah, it's a bluff. And next thing you know, you have this guy jumping and reacting. Tweet.
So pretty much world politics is poker.
The poker game. But again, he would want U.S. to attack first, because they're not going to make the same mistake that Japan made. They want U.S. to attack, so now that's going to give China a reason in Russia to jump in. Right.
It was crazy. Like all the stuff could be summed up back to stuff we went through in grade school.
Right.
You know, he started it. He put me first. The same idea.
Yep.
Whoever started it, they're the one
Yeah, we can advise these guys, man, right here from sitting behind a thing on HYK right there. Some of this whole game that they do.
You don't need diplomacy, 700 pages.
Yeah.
Henry Kissinger, we don't need that.
It's all, you know, it's a facade to make you feel like, you know, that thing is so prestigious, so big. You got to be the top guys, you know, to be in. Yeah? Just read Maccabees, you'll be the top guy. Which thing he accepted and did according to his demands, and swear unto him that he would never do him harm all the days of his life. When therefore he had restored unto him the prisoners that he had taken aforetime out of the land of Judea, he returned and went his way into his own land, neither came he any more into their borders. Because it's tiring. It's tiring. I mean, we want to live a life where you every day you got to go to war, fight this guy, fight that guy. No one wants it. Right. People want peace. Right? But the key is Esau. Even Esau wants peace. You think Esau wants war? He wants peace, but he has no choice. The Most High gonna bring it. Yeah. You bless him with the sword, you die by the sword. Right? So that's why you what's his name? What's his name said the guy that went for president, he was the Secretary of State. The guy with the long face.
Bush, the Skull and Bones dude. Kerry. John Kerry.
Yeah, he said, you know, this guy is foolish to even, you know, bring himself to the level of Pyongyang, Kim Jong-un second. He said, you don't do that. You don't say that kind of stuff. It's like bringing yourself to his level. Right?
Who's the Secretary of State now? I think he didn't catch this.
Spencer, what's his name? Who's the Secretary of State now?
Sessions.
Yeah, because this guy keeps switching people back and forth. It's hard to catch up, you know.
But you were saying
so
before,
unstable.
I agree with the whole apprentice thing. Like CNN is now the apprentice.
Yeah, fire.
You're fired. You're fired. Fire you all.
I don't need you. And then he's gonna open what is it? Application. Come put in your application.
I don't know about you, but even if I was qualified, I'd be like, I think I'll wait for that.
What's 73?
Right, him. ExxonMobil. Rex Tillerson. ExxonMobil CEO. Talk about conflict of interest. That
man.
Russian situation?
Yeah.
Come on, that's like too easy to say.
What's his name? Carl Icahn was his supposed to be his advisor in environmental and refinery, but he pulled out quick time before he even got there. They were speaking about the position, but he never has a official position. In this whole fiasco, he pulled out quick time before he got, you know, the position officially. They don't want their stuff to be tied in, because before you know it, they're gonna know that all the major CEOs of the major company, they part of this government. Verse 73. Thus the sword ceased from Israel, but Jonathan dwelt and began to govern the people and he destroyed the ungodly men out of Israel. All right. So it's about dwelling in peace and restore the people to follow the law, statutes, and commandments, which we will see peace in the kingdom.
Nice.
Ultimate peace. We can only imagine that level of peace that we're gonna be.
Yeah, it was Yukon or one of the other is going to in the kingdom, a real full night's sleep. It's really rest without bad dreams. You wake up with that knot in your chest. Like, I gotta go through this again today. It's really have a real solid night's rest. Wake up and know it's not going to be fine.
Oh yeah.
What is that? Does that even exist?
Father, you laugh at these things, man. Hopefully, most high willing, we make it. That's what we got to focus on now. Try to finish it. Right. Yes. You want to say something, Khan? All right, so that's the end of chapter 9. It's been a lot of, I don't know if you're inspired to become a ambassador of Israel, but there's a lot.
Let's do it.
There's a lot of information here. How to run a government, how to fight for your people, how to restore them, how to get rid of enemies, and how to make, deal with them when the time comes for you to do so. So it's all that in it. Khan.
The water for the class.
All right. Ayan the bar. Barakatah Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, our Savior. All right. Thank you for acknowledgement. All right. So have a happy Sabbath. Tomorrow at sundown is the new moon. All right. Tune in for the new moon service, which is our regular duty on a monthly basis, just as the Sabbath. All right. If you can, by any means, partake in the service. And also, Khan Nabia, what do we have for next Sabbath?
Exodus 39 and 40.
Exodus 39.
40.
Let's double check.
So last time we did, I think 36 and 37. Maybe 30 and 30. 37 and 38.
All right, Exodus 37 and 38. All right, go over it. Seek out words that you don't know and look them up so that it can be much clearer when we go over the service. All right, so Exodus 37 and 38. Most are willing that you have a good week, and also stay with that spirit of gratitude. We know that our people is in captivity in so much things, but let's not focus on them so much so that we lose focus on what really matters, which is stay in the spirit and keep striving daily to be better so we can have a chance to make it in the kingdom to come, right, where everything will be set. We won't have any more enemies that we got to fight. It'll be the last fight, which Yahweh, our commander-in-chief, will come in and fight the last fight and get rid of all these nukes that are flying, everywhere in North Korea, and nukes that is in different places, in hiding weapons that those guys are inventing that we don't even know why, but we know why, that the Most High give them those technology so that the fire and fury will be fierce.
Oh, true.
All right, fire and fury. This man don't know that how fire and fury is gonna be used against him.
You say that.
All right, so with that, we're going to say stay tuned for the closing prayer. Shalom. Someone, please get the blind for us, Father Pasha. Barakata Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Asheran, Atalanawa, Payagapan, Tuara Aman, La Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ak Yasha Allah. Kun. English translation. Blessed are Yahweh in the name of Yahushai that gives to us the olive oil to anoint Israel. No, the whip of the vine. The vine. Blessed are you, Yahweh, in the name of Yahushai that gives to us the fruit of the vine. Thank you, so be it. Yahweh in the name of Yahushai with Israel. I madwa panyua Yerushalayim, stand and face Jerusalem. Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Babakushai, Shemai, La Nawa, Aitha, Yamyan, Aitha, Shalak, Micah Allah, Wala Lahayim, Atazawadakim, Shema Ayah, Barak, Wapa, Magun, Wakaziyak, Banya, Yasha Allah, Washalat, Lan Nawa, Rabiam, Kakama, Rabiam, the Aif, Rabiam, Bayana, Rabiam, Sabalanwa, Rabiam, Amawan, Rabiam, Aqua, Rabiam, Ahabiam, Rabiam, Agana, Wakanaya, Wasalat, Ko, Katayim Nawa, Akim, Wayasha Allah, Yad, Waibulam, Basham, Yahushai, the water, Amen. English translation. Yahweh, in the name of Yahushai, please listen to us now, right now. Send Michael and the righteous powers and angels to watch over, bless, heal, protect, and make strong the children of Israel, and send to us much wisdom, much knowledge, much understanding, much patience, much faith, much brotherhood, much love, much spiritual protection, and forgive us all our sins for the brothers and sisters in Israel, always and forever. In the name of Yahushua, thank you, so be it. Before on this prayer, repeat the Hebrew only. Yahweh,
Yahweh,
Ba'asham,
Ba'asham,
Yahushai,
Yahushai,
Barak Noah,
Barak Noah,
Oyasha'ah,
Oyasha'ah,
Bafia Saparium,
Wabafia Sapari,
Shema,
Shema,
Yashir Allah,
Yashir Allah,
Yahweh,
Yahweh,
Allah Hayanawa,
Yahweh,
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 Ahad.
Yahweh.
All right. Shalom.
Shalom Israel. Have a good day, good evening.
All right.
Shalom.